I'm going to show you the 3 most common mistakes people make when they're hiring a personal trainer for obese people. In addition to that, you're also going to learn the 7 most common mistakes that personal trainers make with obese people, as well as the benefits of strength training and exercise for obese people. So before we jump in, who am I? My name is Igor. I've been a personal trainer since 2006. As well, I've written over 10 Amazon books on exercise, nutrition, and so on, including 3 or more Amazon best sellers. Additionally, I run an online and in-person personal training company that specializes in obese people called Fitness Solutions Plus. So, what are the benefits of exercise for obese people? Well, the number one reason is, well, weight loss. It helps with weight loss to some extent, but also it improves your endurance, it improves your strength, and it improves your flexibility and more. And you know all these benefits, which is why you probably looked for a personal trainer for obese people. But the problem with that is threefold. One, you don't know what to do. Sure, you could watch a video, you could read a book, but none of that is personalized to you. You want something that is tailor-made to you, like a finely tailored suit. That is problem number one. Problem number two is safety. Even if you were to follow along with a video, do you have enough body awareness to prevent any injuries down the line, or possibly even in a single workout immediately? And problem number three, even if you knew what to do, even if you knew how to do it safely, would you actually follow through on it, or would you stick to it for 2, 3, 4 weeks and then fall off the bandwagon? So accountability is problem number three. And again, I don't need to tell you this because you already know these problems, which is why you're looking for a personal trainer. But not all personal trainers for obese people are created equal. There are a lot of bad personal trainers. And in my experience with over 400 face-to-face interviews with personal trainers, probably over 85% of personal trainers are not great. And so here are the 7 most common mistakes that personal trainers make with obese clients. In no particular order, mistake number 1 is not assessing. There's a saying that if you're not assessing, you are guessing. And so what should an assessment involve? Common assessments are things like push-ups and sit-ups and so on, but I don't think that's terribly relevant. You already know that you likely can't do too many push-ups or sit-ups. An assessment should assess what is relevant to your goals. If your goals are weight loss and fat loss, the assessment should include weight and body fat. If your goals are improving your strength, then the assessment should involve some kind of strength measurement and so on. So that's problem number 1, which is not assessing. And problem number 2, which stems from problem number 1, is not having a program. Of course, if you're not assessing, then you're creating the same program for every person and then adjusting it afterwards. It's better to have a personal trainer with a pre-written program, which means that they've thought about your body, your goals, your injuries, and so on, so that they've been able to craft a personal training program for your body. Mistake number 3 is training you above your level. A lot of personal trainers pride themselves on their ability to create difficult workouts, but that's a mistake. They equate difficulty with effectiveness. We shouldn't make a program difficult for the sake of difficulty. We should make a program difficult for the sake of effectiveness, for the sake of progress, for the sake of results. Difficulty for the sake of difficulty doesn't make sense. Difficulty for the sake of progress makes sense. Another common mistake is training you below your level. And a lot of trainers think that, well, this person is out of shape, so I'm going to take it easy. And while that's okay from a psychological perspective, initially, over time, the workouts should be progressively harder and harder and harder, even though to you subjectively, it won't be harder because you're getting stronger, you're building your endurance, you're building your flexibility, and so on. So that's the 4th mistake, which is training you below your level. Another common mistake that personal trainers make with obese people is asking them to jump. The way they try to justify that is jumping recruits more muscle and it gets the heart rate up. True, but there's always a risk and reward to every exercise. The risk, of course, is joint damage. Asking an obese person to jump will damage knees, ankles, and possibly hips. It'll set you up for arthritis, potentially ACL tears, MCL tears, meniscus issues, and all kinds of knee problems that you don't want to have, as well as ankle and hip. Now, the benefit, of course, is yes, it does raise your heart rate. A good personal trainer should look for the minimal risk and the highest benefit. So are there other exercises besides jumping that will do the same thing with lower risk? That's what a good personal trainer should be able to do. Mistake number 6, ignoring health conditions and injuries. If a personal trainer just says, what's your goal? You say your goal, and they said, great, let's get to work, they're missing a huge chunk of the puzzle, which is rarely do people come in with perfect health. Most people will have some kind of injuries, whether that's knees, hips, lower back, shoulder, or something else. Some people will also have some chronic conditions, like, well, obesity is one, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, etc. All these make a difference in terms of how the program is done. And mistake number 7 is giving the same program to everyone. When a personal trainer does that, they are not a personal trainer, they are a babysitter. They're an entertainer. They're giving a program to keep you busy, but it's not tailored to your body. So if all of their clients are doing the exact same stuff, regardless of their goal, injuries, health conditions, they are not a personal trainer, they are a babysitter who uses exercise to entertain you while they're babysitting you. So these are the 7 most common mistakes that personal trainers make when training obese clients. Now, what are the 3 most common mistakes that people make when they're trying to find a personal trainer for obese people? In no particular order, mistake number 1 is looking for the cheapest personal trainer. Personal trainers really come in 2 categories. They are either good or they are cheap. They are rarely both. The good personal trainers aren't cheap. The cheap personal trainers aren't good. So if you're thinking to yourself, but I can't afford a good personal trainer who would also be more expensive, consider reducing your training frequency and being able to afford an expensive personal trainer. So for instance, instead of using a cheap trainer 3 times per week, use a better trainer once or twice per week. And then they'll also give you homework to do on your own. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is confusing likability with competence. A lot of personal trainers are charismatic, enthusiastic people, but it doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. A lot of them are very confident, even though that confidence is not justified because they don't have any case studies or success stories with people who have a history of obesity. And mistake number 3 is not looking for success stories of other clients that they've trained and improved who've had obesity, who are in your shoes. So these are the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when hiring a personal trainer for obesity. Now, my company, my team and I, we specialize in that, and we offer training both in person in Canada in the Greater Toronto Area, as well as virtually if you're outside of that. So no matter where you are in the world, whether you're in Canada, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Australia, or any other place, we're able to help you out as well. If you want to see whether our services are a fit for you, just visit my website at www.fitnesssolutionsplus.ca and fill out the application form.